Witchfire is a sleeper hit. It's been one of the best first-person shooters since its early access launch in 2023. The Revelations 0.9 update just recently dropped on June 18th, bringing with it a brand new area to explore, major improvements to the world corruption system, and all new ways to explode some more enemy skulls. Let's dive in. Whether you're jumping in for your very first time or you're looking for what's changed since the Reckoning 0. update in December 2025, I've got you covered. There is quite a lot more Witchfire content to consume here. First up is the class selection. When you're starting up a new game, you'll no longer be required to select a class right away. Instead, it lets you get used to the game, then it steers you into class selection a bit later. Plus, no matter which class you end up choosing, every one now also comes equipped with the Hunger Revolver. Next is the brand new level, the Marshland. This is a large new sandbox to explore. Well, actually it's a big soggy marsh, but it's a sprawling new area with a beautiful sunken cathedral smack dab in the center of it. It's pretty spooky and fun, and it feels different from the other existing levels. There's 9 new enemies throughout the marshland. A few examples are bloated mosquitoes that spit at you, to poisonous bouncing betties, to shielded poison pussball throwers. It's quite the mix of grotesque creatures, and I'd say it's a perfect fit for a soggy marsh. And don't forget about the other enemies of old. They will rear their ugly heads as well. They're oldies, but still goodies. There's also a brand new vault in the outskirts, which is the very beginning area you start the game in. But don't be fooled. The vault's not easy just because it's in the starting area. It actually requires you to do quite a bit in other areas before you can even unlock its shady entrance. Of course, having all this new content isn't near as fun to play through unless you have some new toys to play around with. Yes, that's right. There are 4 new weapons and 2 new spells to continue mixing up your wizarding ways. The devs are loving their revolvers in the new update, pumping out 3 of them in fact. The Heart Eater, Corpse Eater, and the Soul Eater. Of course, you'll have to earn these through completing various activities. Nothing's given for free in Witchfire. Except the new demonic weapon, I guess. You can actually go straight to the magic mirror and get that one crafting right away. It's called the Tempest, and it'll absolutely sizzle your enemies with lightning. Perfect to bust out in a pinch if you're about to die or need to take care of some big baddie. And for the spells, there's the Pyre Skull, which is a light magic attack that summons a skull to attack enemies with fire. Too much heat? Then cool things down a bit with the heavy magic attack called the Winter Nail. No hammer required. You will rain down these stabby icicles to pierce your foes, damaging and freezing them. There's also 12 new rosary beads to mix up your build even further. If you're feeling great about your build and confident in your play, then you can head to the Profane Study to check out the 2 new available torments to further modify your gameplay experience. When you're not out slaying the foul army of the witch, or maybe if the torments end up being a little bit too much to handle and you fail to extract, there's a nice little surprise waiting back for you at the base, the Hermitorium. There's now a new place for your prayer to kick back and relax a little bit. The garden has been added to your base. You can take some time to recuperate, collect your thoughts, grow some plants, burn some incense, and then try again. The garden makes it so while you're out kicking ass, you can passively be growing materials to gather for crafting more incense. Then we have a pretty big change here. The changes to World Corruption 2.0. One of the biggest gripes from the previous update was when they first introduced the World Corruption system, because it was way overtuned and really outside of your control. It was kind of forced upon you. Now there's much better control over the corruption. There are certain things that'll increase corruption now, but they're optional. If you don't have a supply key, no problem. You can now rip open chests, but it will increase your corruption. There are also new events that you can partake in that'll raise your corruption as well. And all the previous ways of raising corruption are still there. The main reason it's in a better state because there's now a way to remove it through the bell activities. There's finally a way to reset the corruption all the way back to 0. The only problem is, when you activate the bell, there's waves of enemies that get sent at you, which you'll have to kill while defending the bell from getting destroyed. I'm really only about 40-60 on the success rate of that in all the bell attempts that I've tried, so it still is feeling a little bit overtuned. There are a ton of new reworks and balancing of various weapons, spells, gear, UI changes, and quite a bit more. I'm not going to cover all the little details here, But I think the big one that I really wanted to point out is the balancing of the overpowered Echo Shotgun. They brought it more in line with the other weapons, and don't worry, it's still a worthy option. It still shreds, but it relies more on triggering its Mysteria now for its power, instead of just straight up raw damage. If you want to get even nerdier than me, then you can go check out the full list of changes for the whole breakdown by the devs. The final piece to this update, we're starting to finally see the bones of the story. The foundation has been poured, and the bricks of the story are starting to fall into place. There are these various dialogue systems that allow you to make different choices. Gotta say, I didn't expect that for this game. It starts with letters that are delivered to your mirror in the Hermitorium that you can actually reply to with different responses. Then there are a couple new characters and quests introduced. One about the Collector, who's the traitor in the Hermitorium, and the other one with this disfigured monster lady that seems to be betraying the witch by secretly helping you. You can also interact with and discover the backgrounds of each fallen prayer, and they even leave it up to you to decide their fate. It seems like a nice little setup to get a taste for what's to come later for the story. We are finally getting so close to the 1.0 release, where we'll get to experience the complete story, and finally get the chance to take down the evil witch that's strangling the world of Witchfire. And I couldn't be more excited. It's really going to be interesting to see what else the devs add to the game beyond the final story elements too. I played a little bit of the 0.9 Revelations update to deliver these highlights to you, but I'm trying to hold off until 1.0 to do a big final playthrough of the game, to finally experience everything this unique blend of roguelite and PvE extraction masterpiece has to offer. So I hope to see you there, my prayers, brothers and sisters, because this small dev team really deserves more recognition for the amazing first-person shooter they've put together. I'm not always a huge fan of early access, but in this instance, they really honed in and tightened up to make an already fantastic game even better. I don't think that would have been possible without early access. So what do you think? Do you like the early access setup for games? Are you thinking about picking up the game now? Have you already played it? I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. If you're looking to jump in now and you need some tips or more information about the game, why don't you check out my 2 other Witchfire videos. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep on gaming.